hi, I will talk about, or good morning, I will talk about, or good morning, my topic is very simple. Hi everybody, hi everyone, how are you all? I hope everyone is doing fine. Welcome to my show, Tips and Tricks with Teacher Kiran. Okay, on my previous videos, I shared tips and tricks on writing, right? So this time, I'm going to switch to speaking, which is paper 3, okay? So in today's lesson, I will be sharing on part 1 and part 2 of speaking. As you know, speaking is part 3 and roughly you get about 15 or 13 to 15 minutes for this part of the test, okay, for your listening test. And of course, you need to speak in pairs, right? So there are 3 parts. Part 1, which is an interview, about 2 to 3 minutes or 3 to 4 minutes, okay, which is more on a warmer, okay, to warm you up, to make you feel comfortable, to feel relaxed, and then you start speaking for part 2, okay. For part 2 is individual long-term tasks, which is around 1 to 2 minutes, okay. And for part 3, I will touch on part 3 for in my following video lesson, all right. Okay, so just to share with you, I'm sure you know by now, but just to share with you, this is the sitting position for your speaking test. This is the plan, okay? So interlocutor will be sitting in front of you, and the interlocutor, who is a teacher, will be asking the questions, all right? And candidate A and candidate B, you will be sitting just opposite your interlocutor. Whereas the assessor will be quite a distance from you. So my idea of sharing this is to get you to know that you need to speak loud and clear, so that the assessor, who is sitting quite a distance from you all, which is about 1 meter and maybe 2 meters or 1.5 meters, so you need to speak loudly. Some of you will be using your mask when you speak, right? So make sure it's loud and clear, right? Okay, let's look at part 1, the interview, which is a warmer, okay, or warm-up session. Now, the questions asked are all of familiar topics, very common topics. For example, where do you live? What are your hobbies? What is your favorite food? So when you answer, please answer in full sentence. Where do you live? Please don't say Kuala Lumpur. Say exactly where do you live. I live in Taman Indah, Kuala Lumpur. Or I live in Petaling Jaya, Kuala Lumpur, right? What are your hobbies? If you have more than one, you can say my hobbies are reading books and listening to music. Or if you can just mention one, it is fine. It's okay. But just don't mention the hobbies. Mention it in a sentence. All right? So, what do you do after school? What do you do after school? What do you do after school? After school, I usually have my lunch and then I'll take a short nap, whereby after that I will read some books. Okay, so don't have to speak for too long. You just give one, maximum 2 sentences, all right? And how do you spend your leisure time? Leisure here means free time, okay? Your free time. What do you do when you are free? Leisure. So I usually cycle around my housing area. Okay, that's it. What do you usually do on weekends? On weekends, I finish my homework. Sometimes I help my parents with the chores. That's it, enough. 2 sentences maximum. So don't take too long, okay? Right, so these are warm-up session questions, okay? To just get you warmed up before you go to part 2. Okay, now we are in part 2. Part 2 is an individual long-term task. Individual topics will be given to each of you, okay? And you have to speak for 1 minute. A question related will be asked to your friend, to your candidate, to the next candidate, okay? And a new topic for the next candidate plus another question. The question response for the candidate, that means when you get a question, after you finish speaking for 1 minute, one question will be asked to your friend, and your friend has to speak briefly. So in about like 20 seconds. Okay, so the type of questions for this part is more of giving of opinions, sharing experience, describing places, people. So it's not that difficult. Okay, you can speak. So when the interlocutor says that you have some time to look at the question, that some time is actually only 20 seconds. You hardly can prepare anything. All you can do is to read. Okay, 20 seconds, and then your interlocutor will tell you, now you can start, and you have 1 minute to speak. So when you start with a greeting. Hi, I will talk about, or good morning, I will talk about, or good morning, my topic is. Very simple. Okay, you don't have to mention your name and all that. You just say hi, or good morning, or good day, or hello, my topic is, and you start speaking clearly, right? And don't forget to also use cohesive devices when you speak. For example, like firstly, besides, apart from that, furthermore, okay? And you are allowed to look at a timer. If you wish to look at a timer, you can always request from the interlocutor. Okay, some students do not want to see the timer because they feel like they get anxious when they see the timer. But my advice is to look at the timer to know how much more time you have to speak. And do not stop too early. There were some students who, in my school during the trial assessment, they stopped within 30 seconds, 35 seconds. So it's like a waste of time. You have 1 minute, use the 1 minute fully. And once you're done talking, please end with a thank you. It's okay if you couldn't finish speaking all the points given. It's fine as long as you speak and you don't keep quiet. Okay? When A has ended, one question will be asked to candidate B about the same topic. And this is where B has to answer briefly in about 1 to 2 sentences. Okay? Then a new topic will be given to candidate B and the same procedure to follow. Okay, at the end, a topic for candidate A. That means a question for candidate A. Okay, so remember to relax and speak. Don't rush. Okay, here is an example of a topic given, okay, to the first candidate. Maybe candidate A will get this topic, interesting places. Talk about some interesting places to visit. You should say some interesting places in your country. One place in your country that you would recommend to someone and why. What attracts tourists to Malaysia, to visit Malaysia? Now, for weaker students or less proficient students, they tend to repeat the question. It is fine, it is okay, it is some sort of starting of your engine to speak. Okay, so you can say some interesting places in my country are Kuala Lumpur, Malacca, Penang and Langkawi. One place in my country that I would recommend to someone would be Langkawi because it's a beautiful island. So always have the why there, okay, the reasons. It's a beautiful island with a lot of beautiful beaches and a lot of hotels, and the food is delicious, plus it's a duty-free island where you can buy a lot of branded perfume, branded bags, branded shoes, and you can buy chocolates, imported chocolates. Besides, it's a beautiful place for a family holiday because there are many activities and a lot of things to shop. You see, what attracts tourists to Malaysia? What attracts tourists to Malaysia would be food. Definitely, we have many cultures in our country, so food is the best attraction for tourists to come. We have Asian, we have Malay food, Chinese food, Indian food, so it's really delicious. So with a diverse culture and food, tourists will definitely love coming to Malaysia. Plus the weather is good. And once you're done, you say thank you. Okay, so it's not that difficult, and then there will be one question for candidate B based on your topic, which is holiday. Where do you wish to go for a holiday? Now for this part, you don't speak for too long, okay, roughly on about 20 seconds. So maybe you can answer this way. I wish to go to Langkawi Island for a holiday. I've never been there and I heard the place is great to shop for chocolates. It's great to shop for chocolates. And I heard the beaches are beautiful. That's it. Thank you. Okay. So then you will get a second question. For candidate B, will get a second topic. Okay. My favorite movie, which is not related to candidate B's, candidate A's topic. Okay. So candidate B will speak about my favorite movie. So in your question, you have to state the title and what kind of movie. Why did you enjoy watching the movie? What can we learn from watching movies? So you can say any title that, if you cannot remember a title, you can just make up one, it's fine. So the movie that I've watched recently was Train to Busan, and it's a thriller, a movie about zombies. I enjoyed watching the movie because you give your reasons why. Because it was really thrilling, and I love watching zombie movies, and it's full of suspense. At the same time, there is some value related to family relationship. I really enjoy it. So what can we learn from watching movies? We can learn a lot about other people's culture, especially if we watch movies from other countries. For example, Turkish movies, Korean movies. We learn about their culture, and we learn also a lot about values, especially when we watch movies related to family or friends. Okay, so something like this. Okay, so speak slowly, speak in a relaxed form, and give your ideas. Okay, don't pause for too long. Don't pause for too long. You can repeat. If you forget something, you will repeat. Okay, then one question will be asked to candidate A based on the same topic. What was the last movie you watched? So this is just going to be a short answer. So perhaps you can answer something like this. The last movie I watched was Frozen, which is an animated movie. I love the characters and scenes very much, especially the song. Okay, so it's not that difficult. You have to just speak what comes in your mind. Okay, sometimes whatever you say may sway off the topic, but it is fine. Please use the language, use English. Don't keep quiet. If you keep quiet, it's very difficult to get marks. Okay, right. So reminders: start with a greeting. Hello, good morning. Speak loudly and clearly. Do not keep quiet. Try to say something about the topic. If you are stuck because you are panicked, you just read the question back. Read the question aloud and continue with an elaboration or example. Okay, do not pause for so long. Make full use of the time given. Do not stop too early. And when you finish, you say thank you. Right. Okay, so usually topics will be from the textbook. The themes are on people and culture, health and environment, science and technology, consumerism, and financial awareness. These are the themes in your textbook. So please read your textbook. Sometimes some topics will come up from there. Okay, so I'm sure you are all geared up to face your speaking assessment, and I wish you all the best for it. You can do well. Okay, thank you for following me today. I wish you all the best, and please do subscribe to SSTP Kedah YouTube channel for more lessons. Alright, thank you and bye.